I know you've spoken to kind of a handful of clients about this, and there is already some interest. But what kinds of questions or pushback have you got from the people that you've already discussed this with?
I think it's just breaking the mold of what people expect recruitment or recruiters to be. I think for a long time, most recruiters are just seen as no win, no fee type solicitors, where we'll throw this job out to two, three, four different recruiters, and there's almost a kind of mad scramble and race to trying to get the kind of semi-relevant CVs over as quickly as possible. And a lot of clients don't necessarily understand or see the value in having to kind of pay someone proactively up front to kind of work with them. I think that contingency instead will always have a place, but actually the reality of that is it's a bad experience for everybody. Recruiters have to semi-gamble on which jobs they think are fillable. The client wants to pay as little as possible quite often, and just doesn't really care where a CV comes from. They just want as many CVs as possible. And for candidates, they're often left in a system where they're just a product, and things are kind of just chucked at a client, hoping something succeeds or sticks. I think with what we're suggesting and what we're talking about, you would see a far different relationship with jobs and with candidates. You would work much closer with a studio and with a recruiter, and therefore you would receive less but more relevant CVs to the jobs, receiving 3 or 4, maybe 5 at a push CVs that are all right for a job, as opposed to having 3 or 4 recruiters maybe throwing 5 or 6 CVs at you as quickly as possible, hoping something sticks. So I think just getting that mind shift between, again, seeing as a proactive part of the business that shouldn't be no win, no fee, should actually be kind of, see the value in partnering with someone, actually kind of agreeing that kind of monthly retainer. And, overall it shouldn't cost any more. If you're hiring more than 3 or 4 people a year, the structure shouldn't cost you anymore, but it is a different way. Instead of just being paid on delivery, you're actually kind of paying to engage in the first place. I think that sometimes that can get, that can be tricky to get the head around, for sure. I think a lot of studios are so caught up in in chasing their tails and constantly kind of seeing the reactivity or not sure where tomorrow is going to be. And so I think, again, it's stepping back, looking at the macro, looking at the strategic, view of their business and where they are and where they want to be. And actually, I believe they build much bigger or much better teams, hiring with intent, proactively kind of building towards strategic hires, not just filling a gap in the wall or hoping that kind of the next hire will fix the problem, because often it doesn't. And actually, going back to kind of working with multiple recruiters, there's no one overseeing all of the hiring or understanding where it's all coming from, and kind of looking at skill sets and how they might fit together better, or even personalities fit together better, not just kind of here's a CV of someone that can kind of do the job.